Welcome, everyone. This is the opening event of the 2020 Oregon Business Plan Virtual Leadership Summit Series. The theme of this program is Recovery for a Shared Prosperity. Way back in December of 2019, 1,200 of us gathered at the Oregon Convention Center to, one, take stock of how our economy was performing, and two, launch a year-long effort to set goals and strategies for the next 10 years. Who knew what we were in for? So much has happened since that time. Unexpectedly, we find ourselves in the middle of a deep, complicated crisis in public health, in a shocked economy, in a long neglected injustices and inequities, all in the last 6 months. One casualty of the pandemic is that we won't be meeting together again in December for the Leadership Summit. However, we aren't giving up on the work that we set out to do. Instead, we will refresh the business plan through a series of virtual meetings starting today and will conclude in December. There are likely to be 4 more events like this. We also anticipate drilling down on some other particular topics in a few special events. So pay attention, check out OregonBusinessCouncil.org for additional information at any time. During this time, we'll intend to create a refreshed plan by the end of the year, but we'll develop that plan with you in an entirely different context. Last December, we celebrated a decade of success on job creation, having far exceeded our goal of 25,000 jobs per year. This spring alone, Oregon lost 250,000 jobs in a few short weeks due to the pandemic. Last December, we committed to addressing long-standing inequities and the ability of Oregonians to secure a good education and a good job. Since then, these disparities have magnified manifold. In short, we find ourselves in a deep hole, yet not one of our making. We need to pull ourselves out. We hope this summit series will help guide the way. The past 4 months, Oregonians have been working at an exhausting pace to respond and adjust. Let's all admit, there's deep pain everywhere that you look. There are fears about what our future holds, a lot of unknowns ahead of us. As we see it, we need to see our work in 2 stages. 1, we need to reopen the economy as much as possible while protecting ourselves from the spread of the COVID-19 virus. We'll be discussing this process today. It is very important that we unite together to make this happen. So far, we're doing pretty well. Performance is better than most other states. But we need to stick to this work. We need to stick to discipline, and we need to tip to the safety of everyone to make sure that happens. But even while we deal with the immediate issues of reopening, we still need to plan for the long term. In fact, the states that do have a post-crisis plan, a vision for recovery and for longer-term prosperity, will have a significant competitive advantage. Distinct from reopening, which is important and immediate, we focus in the Oregon Business Plan this year is recovery. More importantly, recovery for shared prosperity. Recovery that is stronger, more resilient, and more equitable. How we plan and navigate that recovery will shape Oregon long after the pandemic is over. The fact is, we can't go back to the way things were. I think we all understand that. The work and the workplace won't be the same, and the inequities highlighted by the crisis can't be allowed to continue. Just in my business alone, at Dutch Bros Coffee, we have seen so many changes to how we do things. It's almost, you think about how the customer patterns have already changed from, I'm in the coffee business, from a morning traffic to midday as people aren't getting up as much in the morning, but they're doing different shopping patterns, to completely overhauling our safety standards in every shop across 9 Western states to accommodate health authority and several other programs that we're looking at around how the customer shops. The safety of our employees and our customers is the number one thing we discuss every day. And I can tell you that that wasn't the case 6 months ago, but it's more important than ever. And we're excited to take those challenges on. We're excited to change and adjust based on how the future holds. And I hope that every business around the state is treating this the same way. At the same time, our folks and others are struggling with balancing work while caring for kids at home. And workers who can't work from home confront even bigger challenges, in particular with childcare if schools shift to a different format and schedule. But sometimes crisis creates opportunities along with challenges. We want to be in a position to seize opportunities and minimize those challenges. So how do we envision getting there? What exactly is the framework? So in any good business, in any good planning session, we've got to have a goal. And this framework starts with a goal: to get to shared prosperity. Indicators for that have to be worked out, but right now we're pegging it to more jobs and higher incomes, shrinking inequality, and rising intergenerational wealth. There are three components to that. The first component is growing good jobs, either creating them here or bringing them in. Near term, the focus needs to be on creating jobs where those were lost from the crisis. Long term, the focus needs to be on competitiveness, not just job creation. We'll be working with industry, economic development, and community partners to think about near term and things that we can do now that position us for longer term success. One example might be seizing on Oregon's strong manufacturing base to capitalize on a new desire to relocate supply chains from offshore back to the States. The second component is helping Oregonians transition through our education and workforce systems to new and evolving workplace opportunities and requirements. The future of work has arrived. In particular, this crisis has accelerated an automation trend. We'll need to focus on getting people the skills they need for the future economy. The third component is to invest in and reform institutions that support economic mobility. That includes a modern safety net, affordable housing, a reimagined education system, and a just and effective criminal justice system. With your help, we're going to build out each of these components during the remainder of the year. We will set goals for the decade ahead and present a set of strategies staged to get us there. We'll be talking a lot more about this work in these series and invite many voices to help guide the work. And if you have context, if you have some information you'd like to share, again, please go to OregonBusinessCouncil.org and please share with us that information, and we'd love to hear from everyone on this call. So let's focus on today. Today we're going to level set ourselves with some data on where we stand. We're going to survey how things are currently going with our reopening, and we're going to discuss this work with Governor Brown and learn about her priorities. But before any of this, I want to begin by emphasizing the importance of shared prosperity. From all of our work on the business plan, we've learned that while job creation is critical for building a healthy, equitable community, job creation alone is not enough. We need to take steps to ensure that those marginalized and isolated are given opportunity. Throughout these series, we intend to hear voices from those communities. Today, we're going to start with a panel of Black Oregonians. We know that Oregon has a deep history of racism against Blacks, starting with our founding Constitution, a history that we still live with today. Moderating this panel is Sherry Dunn. Sherry is the CEO of ITBOM Consulting, a firm specializing in creating more equitable and inclusive businesses. Sherry's an attorney, she's a news anchor, she's a CEO, she's a professor, a thinker, an agent of change, a game show winner, but in short, a dynamo with a philosophy degree. She serves on the State Workforce and Talent Board and is a winner of numerous awards. Please welcome Sherry to moderate this panel.